Thanks a lot, Brian. We're ready for Game 3 here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Basketball Day, Indiana. It's presented by St. Vincent. And the highlight of the high school game, New Albany and Silver Creek at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis. You're looking at Romeo Langford, one of the top players in the nation. I'm with former Pacer Eddie Gill. I'm Chris Denari. What a day of basketball. We start with high school, we move to college, and we end with the Pacers and the Bulls, the NBA here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse later tonight. This should be an exciting matchup. It's the second straight year we featured New Albany on Basketball Day, Indiana, and the outstanding player in Romeo Langford.
Yeah, he's going to give the fans all they want to see here today. I've seen him a couple times throughout his career at New Albany. Phenomenal player. Offensively, there's nothing he can't do.
9-1 New Albany. They beat their arch rival last night, Jeffersonville, 85-61. This is a good team that will be the home team tonight in Silver Creek. They are 9-2 on the year.
Yeah, Chris, when you talk about Romeo Langford, he's going to bring all the fans out a lot of times to see him. But one thing that happens for me is you have other opportunity out there for kids who may not get that opportunity to be seen and really show and display what they're capable of.
Today's starting lineups presented by Master Jewelers for New Albany. Romeo Langford, he's the 6'5 senior, averaging 32 points per game. His running mate is Sean East, a 6'1 senior, averaging 19 points per game. They've got Derek Stevenson, Julian Hunter, and Trey Horrigan. Hunter is a sophomore, averaging 7 points and 7 rebounds. The focus on Romeo Langford and Sean East. Again, 6 straight wins for New Albany. They won their 34th straight at home last night in beating Jeffersonville 85-61. That's Sean East that's coming out, and Romeo Langford last night became 11th all-time on the IHSAA scoring list. He has 2,370 points. The all-time leader is Damon Bailey with 31-34. Next on the list, Langford is chasing James Blackman Jr., who scored 2,387. So with 18 points today, Langford will move up on the IHSAA scoring list. New Albany 9-1. Silver Creek is 9-2. They've won 3 straight. They started 6-0. They won last night 70-23 against Eastern of Pekin. And their starting lineup, Zane Gross is their leading scorer at 17 points per game. He's a 6'2 junior. Jack Hawkins is a 6'5 junior. Bennett Bile, also a junior at 6'5. Sammy Barnett and Jacob Garrett round out the starting lineup, presented by Master Jewelers. The one thing, Eddie, about this Silver Creek team, they have some significant size. I talked to head coach Brandon Hoffman in his 8th year, a native of Silver Creek. He said, hey, we cannot get in a running game with New Albany. That's what New Albany did so well last night in their win against Jeffersonville.
Yeah, definitely. You talk about Romeo Langford and Sean East. They are phenomenal in transition. I've seen it live and in person. Want to keep those guys in a crowd. And if Silver Creek can utilize their length and their size, that will give them that much more ability to slow the pace down.
This is the 39th consecutive year that New Albany and Silver Creek have played. And they last played a year ago at New Albany, 76-61. And we've got a really good crowd here. A lot of folks from Silver Creek, a lot of fans from New Albany. They travel well. You were in Carmel a few weeks ago. It was sold out last night at home against Jeffersonville. Just a few more times for the fans of New Albany to see Romeo Langford in that red and black uniform.
Yeah, Chris, this is an opportunity for the fans to be around such a great player. He's a once in a generation type of player. Love to see them come out and support and travel, and Silver Creek as well. You have a team who's the underdog here. Their fans have definitely come out here to support them.
Silver Creek will go to a 1-2-2 zone. New Albany trying to find it, and Langford starts with a miss from 3-point range, but it's rebounded by Julian Hunter. That's Sean East, their second leading scorer at nearly 19 points per game. East is a southpaw and hits a 3 to start it for New Albany.
Yeah, New Albany has done a nice job, especially in that first set with their patience, moving the ball around the horn, got an offensive rebound, and able to knock down that shot in the corner.
Zane Gross wears number 10. He's the leading Silver Creek scorer at 17 points per game. Again, they've got good size. Sammy Barnett at 6'3" is a senior, and the ball will stay with the team in white Silver Creek out of Sellersburg, Indiana, just north of Louisville. In fact, these two schools are separated no more than 10 or 15 minutes away. Silver Creek, a 3A school out of the Mid-Southern Conference. New Albany is a 4A school out of the Hoosier Hills Conference. Gross has it blocked. And Langford. This is not what Silver Creek wants to happen. Get in a transition game with New Albany.
Yeah, they got to do a better job of executing their sets throughout the entire game. Really try to manufacture good quality looks at the basket. Otherwise, it could be a long night in transition with Romeo Langford.
Jack Hawkins wears number 14. He's a 10-point scorer for Silver Creek. He has the ball now. Dragons average 54 points per game. Silver Creek gives up just 41. This is a high-powered New Albany offense averaging 76 per game. And a three-point shot is good, and that's Jack Hawkins.
Really nice job getting the ball in the paint, kicking it out to the open three-point shooter there.
He's one of their better three-point shooters. That's his 11th of the year, and at the free throw line a miss by Trey Horrigan. And the Dragons have the basketball. New Albany's won 19 straight in this series. The last Silver Creek win, you head all the way back to 1998 when the Dragons beat the Bulldogs 67-59, and Langford in transition has his second basket.
Silver Creek takes a bit of a quick shot there. Sean East does a really nice job rebounding, advances the ball to Romeo Langford for a nice shot.
Zane Gross was the MVP of the Silver Creek Holiday Tournament a couple of weeks ago. He had 24 points in the championship game against Clarksville. Got his own rebound with a left hand and draws the foul. It's on Julian Hunter.
You see here, Chris, Sean East does a really nice job. This play right here is really not utilized enough by players on all levels there, being able to advance the ball ahead. So a lot of times, guys, get caught up in dribbling the ball up the floor. You can't get the ball down the floor any quicker than a pass.
Ty Kessinger checks in for Silver Creek, a 6'1 junior. And also in is Josh Landers.
And in that last set there, Chris, they sent Romeo through 2 different ball screens. He wasn't really that happy with either of them. That's something they may want to look to do, try to wear him down on that end, make him work as a defender as well.
Last week, Sean East scored 27 at Evansville Central as Langford missed that game with a jammed finger. Again, he's averaging 33 points per game, and Langford from the wing missed it, rebounded by Silver Creek and Bennett Bile. And he stepped out of bounds. Now, the one thing I talked to both coaches about, this is an NBA-length college floor. It's 94 feet. The traditional high school floor, as Jim Shannon knows, is 84 feet. He said he talked to his kids about it, but said, hey, we're just happy to be here and have the opportunity to play on this great basketball day, Indiana.
Yeah, I think this floor could be 120 feet, Chris. They will manage just fine here today. Really love this opportunity to be out here.
Langford missed the dunk on the alley-oop. East lost the ball. East and Langford have been teammates since elementary school as Hunter turns and misses. Rebound tip. Hunter has it back. And East is fouled on the floor. They will not count the basket.
Yeah, Silver Creek has had some solid defensive possessions down there. Haven't been able to come away with the rebound. Really want to look to finish that possession with a defensive rebound and get out into their offense.
And I think one of the things that Brandon Hoffman, the 8th-year coach for Silver Creek, he's going to try to use the depth on his roster. Again, he's got some size and put different players there. They double team, but Langford with a great pass to East for his second basket.
That's what we talked about a little bit in the open with Romeo Langford. It draws 2 defenders quickly on the catch, able to read it and make the quick pass to Sean East for the layup.
Not only averaging almost 33 points per game, he averages 3 assists per game, and that's an over and back violation, and New Albany has the basketball. In for the first time is Cooper Jacoby, a 6'4 freshman averaging 6 points per game, and Brandon Hoffman has some some good young size on his roster. He says it's not only going to help us this year, but as we continue to be successful in this program.
Yeah, for sure. And these guys are getting some good playing experience right now against top quality competition. I think there's no replacement for experience in those reps, and I think they're getting them now.
New Albany's played some great competition all year long. 5 teams ranked top 10 in the state, 7 teams ranked top 25, and knocked off previously unbeaten Jeffersonville last night, and that's Langford easily to the rim. He has 6.
Yeah, that help side defense has to come early and often when he has the ball on the wing looking to play some ISO game.
Man-to-man defense by New Albany on this Saturday afternoon. Basketball day, Indiana. High school starts today. We've got college games and then the Pacers and the Bulls. And a nice jump shot. That's a 3 by Ty Kessinger.
Another good offensive set there by Silver Creek, moving the ball from side to side. Limited dribbling there. Kicks it out to the open three-point shooter.
Darren Starks wears number 3. He's on the floor for the first time for New Albany. He had a nice game last night against Jeffersonville. He had 9 points off the bench. Langford had another double-double, 33 and 11 last night. And Starks in the corner for 3.
New Albany responds with a nice offensive possession of their own, moving it from side to side. Langford again really calm and cool under pressure.
Sammy Barnett averaging 4 points per game, so 3 threes early by Silver Creek, keeping them close.
And that three-point shot can always keep you in the game.
And Starks again, this time he missed it. Offensive rebound by Horrigan, and he's fouled.
The 3 ball is a big part of today's basketball on all levels. Silver Creek has done a nice job getting to the open shot there.
Silver Creek shoots nearly 35% from behind the arc. New Albany at 32%. Again, you see that blue line. That's the three-point arc in high school. The white line is the NBA line, is east. The second leading scorer for New Albany. That's Langford, cut off and rebounded by Sammy Barnett. Silver Creek has it in the front court. Just over 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. New Albany has not trailed. They scored the game's first 5. But Silver Creek's already hit 3 first quarter threes. And they've done it without any points from their leading scorer, who has it now. Zane Gross has his first basket. It's a 1-point game.
There it is, Chris. You ask and you shall receive. I'm really impressed with Silver Creek's patience there. They push it down initially, see if there's an easy opportunity there. There wasn't. Backed it out, get a nice offensive set, get an open shot for their best player.
Well, both these coaches know each other well. They're good friends. Brandon Hoffman at Silver Creek. That's another 3 from Darren Starks. And Jim Shannon in his 20th year at New Albany. Bulldogs won a state championship in 4A 2 years ago. Langford was a sophomore. Last year they were knocked out in the regional final by Castle. Bile with a strong move. Rebounded by Horrigan. He's a 6'5 sophomore.
That's a big-time rebound.
East down the lane with a left hand, and Sean East has 7. So 3 players have scored for New Albany. Langford has 6. Starks has 6 off the bench, and Sean East has 7. You and I were talking before the game. I mean, Sean East is a very underrated basketball player.
No question about it. He's a guy who's obviously playing against arguably maybe the best player in the country right now with Romeo Langford. But he is a very good player himself. A guy who if he's on another team, he's the best player on the team. But I think that Romeo Langford does a nice job deferring to him at times, and obviously the coach goes to him as well. So within their system, he's definitely well valued.
Derek Stevenson has come back in for New Albany. He wears number 11. Bulldogs in the red, and Silver Creek in the white. Barnett out to Trey Kaufman, who fires in the 4th 3 of the game for Silver Creek.
Chris, they're lighting it up from outside. That shot right there will keep them competitive throughout the entire game. But again, they're doing a good job of recognizing the open offensive player and getting it to him.
Kaufman is one of those young guys that Coach Hoffman's talking about, a 6'5 freshman. He's come off the bench for Silver Creek. Final 19 seconds of a very entertaining first quarter as Silver Creek trails by just 3. Langford with 10. Shoots a long three. Offensive rebound. Langford gets it again with another three. A second chance opportunity for Romeo Langford.
The offensive rebound once again stings Silver Creek, and Romeo makes him pay with the second three.
Langford averaging 33 points per game. He had 33 last night in a 24-point win against Jeffersonville. 9 first-quarter points for Langford, and New Albany has a 6-point lead, 22-16. Basketball Day, Indiana, on Fox Sports, Indiana.
As long as there is fear, as long as there is curiosity, as long as there are undiscovered corners of the earth, and as long as there is willingness and desire, then you are capable of more.
Dreyer & Reinbold BMW, Indianapolis, Greenwood, and at DreyerReinboldBMW.com.
Leaders make those around them better. Mistakes are gonna happen. It's how you bounce back that matters.
Get out there and leave it all on the field.
Those butterflies you feel right now, they're gonna help you fly. Winning isn't about the scoreboard. It's about giving it everything you have.
Every athlete deserves a positive coach.
Positive Coaching Alliance. Better athletes, better people.
Romeo Langford missed the first three, but got the rebound and hit the three just before the first quarter buzzer. 9 first quarter points for Romeo Langford, and New Albany leads 22-16. Undecided, it's between Indiana, Vanderbilt, and Kansas. A list of the top 2018 recruits. You know them very well. Your son plays at Carmel, Eddie, and you're around the AAU circuit. You know how talented the players are in Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, it's a luxury for the especially the local universities here to be able to recruit and scout players that are right here at home. There's an abundance of players here in Indiana, and if they can just bottle them all up and keep them here in Indiana, that'd be nice.
Silver Creek has to feel good about where they are. They've hit 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 4 from three-point range, and Trey Kaufman's done a nice job. Had a good visit with Brandon Hoffman. Played high school basketball at Silver Creek, college basketball at the Division III level at Hanover. Returned to Silver Creek, was the JV coach for 7 years. This is his 8th year as the head coach. Gross with the steal, mishandled it, shoots from the corner and hits a three. They are 5 of 5 from behind the arc.
Lighting it up, Chris. Doing a really nice job from the three-point line, and that's going to keep them in the game.
Boy, we've got some great three-point shooting as Derek Stevenson hits. These teams have combined to hit 10 threes in the first half. Nice pass inside and a finish by Bile.
Outstanding ball movement. Silver Creek has done a nice job with their ball movement and getting open shots there. They can lock down on the defensive glass to have a better opportunity here.
In the corner again, and that corner three by Stevenson. So Stevenson's hit a pair, Starks has hit a pair, East has hit one, Langford's hit one.
It's raining threes here in Bankers Life Fieldhouse right now.
Gross has 5 first half points. He leads Silver Creek on the year at better than 17 per game. And again, the tempo's been fast, and Silver Creek's adapted pretty well.
They have, and I think it's based upon the way they've been able to move the ball offensively. They're taking shots when they're available.
That kid is a freshman, Trey Kaufman.
There it is, playing with great confidence. That's what I like to see in the young players. Not afraid of the moment at all out here.
Well, Brandon Hoffman told me he knew it would be a quick turnaround when they put this Basketball Day Indiana together. And his team was unanimous that they wanted to play New Albany here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. They knew they'd be giving up a home game as Stevenson misses. Hunter the rebound and put it in.
The offensive rebounds is the only drawback or flaw of Silver Creek's game right now. They gave up 5 offensive rebounds in the first quarter. There's another one here early in the second.
A 5-point Bulldog lead at 30-25. Hunter Pop is in for the first time, a 6'3" senior. He has the ball. Gross just beyond the free throw line, and another basket for Zane Gross. 42% field goal shooter. He shoots 43% from long range, and he's at the front of that 1-2-2 zone.
You mentioned that both coaches being friends and guys that are close to each other. Their styles of play somewhat mirror each other in terms of their willingness to be patient on the offensive end of the floor and really try to guard on defensive end of the floor.
3-second violation against New Albany, and Silver Creek has it. Now with a chance to tie with a 3. Brandon Hoffman has won 115 games in his Silver Creek career. There are 2 losses this year to Jeffersonville and Bedford North Lawrence, both 4A schools. They won last night easily a conference game over Eastern Pekin, 70-23. And now less than 24 hours later, playing very well. New Albany also played last night, so both teams equal in that regard. And a timeout. Ball on the floor, and Jim Shannon and the Bulldogs get the timeout.
Yeah, New Albany increasing the pressure there on that defensive set. Yeah, little guy getting in there and mixing it up. Love to see that.
Now they gave him possession of the basketball, Darren Starks, so New Albany gets the timeout. Jim Shannon is a native of Anderson, Indiana, played for Norm Held with the Anderson Indians in his 20th year, 365 wins and a state title a couple of years ago in New Albany. It's his 34th year as a high school coach, 530 and 241. Has had some great success at New Albany, and he told me he identified that Romeo Langford was going to be something special in the 2nd or 3rd grade. You see the boys' weekly coaches poll, New Albany 9-1 behind South Bend Riley. Their only loss of the year to Floyd Central. They had won 19 straight against Floyd Central, and Floyd Central got the win. Ironically, New Albany's won 19 straight in this series. They've never won 20 straight against an opponent. They're trying to do that today here against Silver Creek.
We're going to get a first somehow, some way here today, whether they win their 20th or if Silver Creek is able to get their win in 19 games.
Langford to the free throw line where he shoots 84%.
I'll be interested to see if New Albany decides to increase the pressure in some capacity, whether it's in half court or full court range defensively, considering that they appear to be the more athletic team of the two. They've sat back a little bit now in their half court man-to-man defense. Silver Creek has kind of picked them apart, especially being able to find those guys at the three-point line. See if New Albany decides to pick the pressure up a little bit the way they did in that previous defensive possession.
Langford again averaging better than 30 points per game, but misses both free throws. And Silver Creek has it, down 3, approaching the halfway mark of the 2nd quarter here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The 3rd high school of game of 4 later today out at the Pacers Athletic Center as Gross with his 2nd 3 ties it at 30.
And this, it baffles me. I see this on all levels as well. I'm sure they know the scouting report that Gross is able to shoot the ball. They've already knocked down a few, and the guy goes underneath the ball, a DHO.
Coming up later this afternoon, up in Westfield, it's Broad Ripple and Addicts, and now Silver Creek will have Cooper Jacoby at the free throw line and a chance to take their first lead of the afternoon.
I'll tell you what, Chris, you can see the confidence growing in Silver Creek as this game wears on. They came out with confidence. These shots are going in. The confidence is going to just continue to grow there.
Silver Creek shooting 73% from the field, 11 of 15, and Jacoby gives Brandon Hoffman's team its first lead at 31-30.
I guess you might be a little confident if you're shooting 73% from the field.
So both free throws good by the freshman. And the Dragons have the lead at 32-30.
This Silver Creek team will be solid for some years to come with these freshmen coming out here producing right now the way they are.
Langford being chased by Jacob Garrett, a 6'2 senior. East cut off. How many different defenders do you think Romeo Langford has seen this year as he goes inside, draws the foul? Because it's not just one from each team. Probably 3, 4, 5 different players each night draw the assignment on Romeo Langford.
You're exactly right. And he's seeing 2 or 3 at a time in most cases, you know, with his ability offensively. But like I said, I love his even-keeled attitude. They're not going to play a defense that he has not seen. He's just been able to go about his business and still be effective.
And Gross has the rebound. He scored 10, hit a couple of threes. Jacoby inside, and the freshman has his first field goal, and it's a 4-point Silver Creek lead.
Their confidence is just growing. You can see it. They don't care about Romeo Langford. They don't care about Shawnese. They don't care about any of it. They're coming out here to win a game today.
Brandon Hoffman told me one of the reasons they wanted to play here on the floor at Bankers Light Fieldhouse, they want to return here in March with a chance to win a state championship. 3-pointers are raining from the Silver Creek Dragons.
Knocking them down at a high rate right now. Doing an awesome job on the 3-point line.
6 of 6 behind the arc. As Silver Creek has its first lead, a 34-30 advantage. Gross has hit a couple of them. He has 10. He is the first player on either team in double figures as Silver Creek's on a 9-0 run.
Yeah, I'm sure they're having a nice little conversation about that over in the New Albany's huddle, about the 3-point line and being able to get to shooters. And again, I think they got to pick up their pressure a little bit, force Silver Creek to put the ball on the floor. See, can they make a dribble, make a move, and make a play off the bounce.
And Eddie, as you look at the numbers over the years in this New Albany Silver Creek matchup, again, 39th consecutive year that these two teams play, it's been easily won by New Albany. Most years it's a double-figure win. Most years it's a 20-point win. Last year it was a 15-point win at New Albany. This is a Silver Creek team, though, that believes it can play with the Bulldogs.
Clearly, their confidence exudes throughout the entire team. Doing a really nice job. And again, as these shots go in even more and more, the confidence will continue to build.
East against the zone, launches a 3, and Sean East has his second 3. This is Indiana. We know you can shoot the basketball. These two teams now are 13 of 16 from 3-point range.
Yeah, this is Indiana. You can shoot the ball, but what they're doing is rarely done, both teams, in terms of how effective they are at the 3-point line. But they're doing a good job of moving the ball and shooting the ball with confidence.
Dragons have a 1-point lead.
And this is, as you can see, where New Albany can be a little bit more effective in upping that pressure there. But Silver Creek's patience has been great. Got a good look there, just didn't go in.
Jacoby had it hang on the rim, and now all the way underneath the basket and short. It was missed by Savion Southers.
Got to have those bunnies. When you get them, got to knock them down.
He's a 6'2 senior. Comes off the bench. Knocked away. Langford looked for it, and that's a walk.
Yeah, the official closest to it didn't think so.
30 seconds.
Well, they're going to give him the basketball. That sure looked like he slid, right?
Yeah. One of the official nearest us, I believe, called the travel.
And the one called, they got Silver Creek with the timeout. So Silver Creek will have the basketball up 1 with 1:37 to play. Basketball day, Indiana, here on Fox Sports Indiana. And again, later today, we'll do the college whip around. I'll join Brian Hammonds and my partner on Pacers telecast, Quinn Buckner. We've got some outstanding college games later today, Eddie. It's Purdue and Indiana women's basketball at 2 p.m. Then 15 minutes later, it's Nebraska and 13th ranked Purdue. And just a few miles away, it tips at 2:30 on FS1. We'll also have it here, number 21 Seton Hall and Butler in a Big East showdown. Also on Fox Sports Indiana Plus, Southern Illinois and Valparaiso. Later today, Vince Welch and Bob Lovell up in Westfield for Broad Ripple and Addicts. And then we cap it with Pacers Live pregame. You'll join Jeremiah Johnson. Quinn and I will have the call, the Pacers and the Chicago Bulls. It's like a basketball holiday today.
No question about it. You're a basketball fan in Indiana, which is almost a religion here. I'm pretty sure you're going to get your fill here today.
Gross, an NBA three. And it's rebounded by Langford. And a foul.
A rare miss for Silver Creek from the three-point line.
That's because he was a little deeper than the high school line that you see in blue.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Hey, coming out of college, when I first walked on an NBA floor, you know, you don't realize how long that shot is until you get out there. I'm like, wow, this is a deep shot.
Eddie Gill, great to be a part of our Fox Sports Indiana telecast here on Pacers TV. 1 minute to play. Lob, and that's Langford goes over the top.
Way to go get it, big fella. And zero reaction after he makes a phenomenal play like that. He is clearly used to making those plays.
And then he picks up the loose ball, forces the turnover, and New Albany has regained the lead.
Love it. He makes a phenomenal play like that. They do a really nice job of reading the high-low situation. He goes up top to get it. And look who's down on the floor getting a defensive steal on the other end.
His demeanor on the floor, Eddie, never changes, does it?
It never changes. Good, bad, or indifferent, he has the same disposition the entire time, which really works to his favor, considering that he's a highly sought-after guy night in and night out.
And when you think about the top player in Indiana, top 5 in the nation, has narrowed it to either Indiana, Vanderbilt, or Kansas. Hunter missed it, rebounded by Silver Creek. I mean, this is a guy that in talking to Jim Shannon, he opted, like other players don't, to stay with his hometown high school all 4 years.
No question. I'm a firm believer that if you can play, they will find you. And he's obviously proven that and shown that throughout his career.
And Julian Hunter with the steal and the dunk. And the Bulldogs have a 3-point lead. Final 6 seconds of the first half. That's missed. Rebounded by New Albany, and they'll take a 3-point lead into the halftime break. Romeo Langford and New Albany 9-1. Silver Creek is 9-2. The Dragons used a 9-0 run to take a late 4-point second quarter lead, but 7 straight by the Bulldogs to close the first half. And New Albany at the break leads it 37-34. It's basketball day, Indiana, and you're watching on Fox Sports Indiana.
It's official. Fishers is Money Magazine's #1 place to live in America, and we agree.
Napleton Kia of Fishers is rolling out the welcome mat. Our inventory is priced to sell, and we're having a massive sales event all month long with low lease payments.
It's great to be part of the #1 place in America. Napleton Kia of Fishers.
Napleton, second to none since 1931.
Your true love deserves to wear the brightest diamond in the room. But how do you choose the right one when some diamonds have a difference in price by as much as 70%? Introducing the Bright Crystal Diamond, an affordable brand whose inventory is proven to be in the top 10% of the world's most brilliant diamonds. Come and see for yourself how the Bright Crystal Diamond uses science and third-party technology to prove its inventory's brilliance and give you the added security when making this important purchase. The Bright Crystal Diamond. The difference is in the crystal. Master Jewelers, proud sponsor of Pacers basketball on Fox Sports Indiana.
My financial partner is IMCU, Indiana Members Credit Union. They offer the commercial services I need, like online banking and loans for company vehicles and real estate. Plus, they're locally owned like me. When I had a spike in business and needed working capital in a hurry, all it took was one call and IMCU came through. Their local decision-making kept it simple. I get personal service I can count on for my business at IMCU, Indiana Members Credit Union.
Nominate an outstanding student leader from an Indiana high school for the Community Health Network Shelbourne Knee Center Athlete of the Month. Student athletes with at least a 3.0 GPA can be honored at halftime on Fox Sports Indiana. Find nomination details at fixknee.com.
Whitlock, I'm a polarized fire starter. Whitlock has created a fire. I am what I am.
Cowherd, here's my problem with what has happened. We have deep-rooted issues.
It's halftime of Game 2 on Basketball Day, Indiana. The New Albany cheerleaders rooting their team on here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And I'm pleased to be joined now by Ralph Reef of St. Vincent Sports Performance. And Ralph, I know you're proud of what St. Vincent is doing in supporting Basketball Day Indiana.
No question. All across the state of Indiana, St. Vincent has facilities in some 24 cities, from Evansville at the Ohio River up to Kokomo and Williamsport to Winchester. So we're very excited to support basketball across the state of Indiana.
And you get involved with basketball players at a very early age, don't you?
Yeah, through our sports performance program, we're involved at the Pacers Athletic Center up in Westfield. We have a strength coach and athletic trainers there each day supporting those athletes from a very young age as they enter the sport of basketball.
And you've got a great facility that just opened here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
The St. Vincent Center across the street from Bankers Life Fieldhouse is world class. It truly is. And for us to be invested into the state of Indiana, to be invested into the Indiana Pacers, the Indiana Fever, is something that is very important to all of us at St. Vincent. And, to have a part in the health care of citizens across the state, it's very important for us to have this access and be a part of this day.
In the training end of things, as far as basketball goes, has really come a long way, hasn't it?
Well, it really has. We're looking now at not just the 2 hours that you might have on the basketball court, but it's really about the whole 24-hour clock of the athlete. And it's about how much they sleep, how a person hydrates, how they are eating, their nutrition, recovery, getting ready for the next bout. And it's really not new thought process, but we're packaging it differently. And the citizens across the state of Indiana and across the globe are very interested in this new information and new technology. We're having a lot of fun providing it.
You've been doing this a long time. How much better are the athletes today than when you first started doing this?
Well, they're incredibly better. You just look out on the court here and across the state of Indiana at the high school athletes. They're more mobile. They have more energy. They can go to greater heights, if you will, as far as their athleticism. And it really is a maturation over generations of how we have matured as a society about doing the right things. But you and I both see a lot of basketball, and we're impressed nightly as we see athletes across the state of Indiana, across the country, that are just better than a generation ago.
Well, thank you for spending some time with us, and thank you to St. Vincent for supporting Basketball Day Indiana.
Well, we're very proud to be a part of it, and thank you very much.
When we continue on Basketball Day Indiana, we will hear from Victor Oladipo. Will he play or won't he play tonight? He has missed the last 4 games. We'll hear from him when we come back.
My son was marrying a woman from Japan, and the wedding was going to be held in Tokyo. I said, keep her. After he told me that they were getting married, I was in touch with Forum within the next 3 days. Forum Credit Union helped me set up a credit card that would work internationally. We did everything in Tokyo. The wedding, we saw temples, went to Forum, they made it happen.
Cheap furniture, nice game system, new job, steady girlfriend, wedding, dog that serves as a practice child, little kid, little kids, oh. Big kids, big changes. So, once a year, Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance checks to see if we're paying too much or covered too little.
Find an agent and stop knocking on wood. This is your wake-up call.
All right, now we got something.
This is what happens when game...
We're diva. We're extra.
...recognizes game.
DeHoyer, the Brock Osweiler, Tom Savage, Mac Osweiler, and Savage, and Sean Watson.
What?
These guys sleep and eat everything sports.
I'm glad you're on my team.
Maybe it's just an obsession.
Does LeBron know that you're obsessed with him?
First things first. Weekday mornings on FS1.
Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a champion.
I think I was just kind of born to play this sport.
It's kind of a crazy existence.
But I could do it my way.
All of a sudden, that 15 minutes is up. It's like, who am I in this world? And what was that all about?
Basketball Day Indiana, presented by St. Vincent. It's halftime of game 2, and so far Silver Creek doing a nice job against Romeo Langford. He has 11 points and 4 rebounds at halftime, and New Albany hanging on to a slim 3-point lead at the break, 37-34. If you're just joining us, here's what we still have on top for the remainder of the day on Basketball Day Indiana. One more high school game to come your way later. Broad Ripple and Crispus Attucks. Our college whip around. Purdue, Indiana women. Nebraska plays at Purdue. Seton Hall at Butler in Southern Illinois at Valparaiso. And, of course, putting a bow on things tonight, the Pacers and the Chicago Bulls come your way at 7 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Indiana. Will Victor Oladipo play? We will find out later. Yesterday, Jeremiah Johnson spoke with Victor.
The conclusion of Basketball Day Indiana could feature the return of Victor Oladipo. Pacers and Bulls. Vic, after sitting out every game since that Pistons loss, how much are you anxious to get on the court?
A little bit, real anxious, obviously, just being able to go out there and play the game I love. So hopefully I have that opportunity tomorrow.
You've been very active and vocal in the huddles, watching those games and in practice as well. Does anything stand out about what this team has done in the last couple weeks that needs to improve?
We just got to get our mojo and our almost a swagger in a sense back, and just go back and play our game, go out there and play our game, and just play, man, not worry about what's going on, and just live in the moment, possession by possession. And I think if we go back to doing that, we'll be just fine.
You're 19-19. I think you referenced recently that you're maybe ahead of what many outside of this building expected of you. Is this an important 4-game stretch, though, with the next 4 at home before you go on a road trip?
I mean, every game is important in the NBA. You just got to take it one game at a time and control what you can control. Like I said, stay in the moment. I feel as though we're better than where we are now, and we just got to continue to keep getting better.
What did you notice by watching the Chicago game a couple of weeks ago, and you have 2 other games against them already this season? What will be an important aspect to watch for?
We just got to do a better job of making them feel us. They really got high from the outside last game, and just got to do a better job of making them feel us and just setting the tone on both ends of the floor.
All right, if all goes well, the Pacers will see Victor Oladipo Saturday night against the Bulls.
And Victor Oladipo will be a game-time decision tonight. New Albany leads Silver Creek 37-34 at halftime. We'll come back with second-half action after this.
Being a business owner and a dad means a lot of people count on me. Having a bank who knows me and my business is a must. That's why I depend on First Financial Bank to help me see the big picture, whether I'm securing the perfect shot or capturing the little moments. They understand what's important. I trust First Financial to keep my success in mind and protect my most valuable assets.
Made the buying process easy and actually fun. Great price and kept everything professional yet simple. Knowledgeable about their vehicles and a pleasure doing business with. That's not from us. That's from our customers. We at Penske Chevy listen to what's important. Give us the opportunity and we'll deliver the experience you deserve. With our Penske Promise, low price guarantee, 3-day return policy, top trade-in value. Not only do we guarantee our cars, we guarantee you'll love yours. Find new roads at PenskeChevyIndy.com, home of the Penske Promise.
To get great care for your everyday life, you need more than an everyday doctor. You need one that listens. And that's just what Ascension doctors at St. Vincent do. Listening to you helps us see your whole picture. And with care teams who take the time to understand you, getting the care you need when and where you need it has never been easier. Find care that is right for you at GetStVincentCare.com.
Stream Pacers basketball all season long on Fox Sports Go. Never miss a moment on your phone or tablet.
Oladipo went right around Cunningham.
Fox Sports Go, streaming the Pacers all season long. Presented by Metro PCS. This is what happens when game...
We're diva. We're extra.
...recognizes game.
DeHoyer to Brock Osweiler, Tom Savage, back to Osweiler, to Savage, and Sean Watson.
What?
All right, now we got something.
First things first. Weekday mornings on FS1.
Basketball Day Indiana, the Silver Creek Dragons hit 6 of 7 from three-point range in the first half.
Absolutely lighting it up, Chris. They did a really nice job of moving the ball, finding the open shooters, and obviously you got to knock it down, and that's what they were doing at a high rate.
They used a 9-0 run to take a 4-point lead. New Albany gets 11 first-half points from Romeo Langford, and in fact, he got the dunk that gave them the lead to close the first half.
Yeah, Chris, Romeo Langford has not disappointed us thus far. Really nice first half of playing off his teammates and being aggressive, kind of picking his spots. Anxious to see how this second half opens up with New Albany going on that run that they did to end the second quarter.
You saw the stats. Silver Creek 63% from the field. New Albany 56%. And New Albany, the team in red, has the ball as we're underway in the third quarter with Eddie Gill. I'm Kristen Airy, Basketball Day, Indiana. And there's a steal. Zane Gross will take it, length of the floor. It's a one-point game.
Heck of a start there for Silver Creek, playing in the passing lane. Gross there, nice steal and layup.
Now it looks like Silver Creek has gone to a man-to-man, and East with his third three. Sean East coming in, shooting nearly 40% from behind the arc. He's made three.
Hey, Sean East is a guy that no one knows about until you go and see New Albany play. All you hear about is Romeo Langford. You find out who Sean East is really quickly.
And I think back a number of years ago, and that's out of bounds. That'll belong to New Albany. And I'm not comparing them talent-wise, but think back when Greg Oden and Mike Conley were teammates at Lawrence North. They won 3 straight state titles. Everybody talked about Greg Oden. They somehow forgot about Mike Conley, and look where Mike Conley is now.
No question, he's only one of the best point guards in the NBA right now. But he's a guy, Sean East, again, he's benefiting from what Romeo Langford has been able to do just by everyone going to watch him. But hey, there's a guy named Sean East, and he's making himself known.
And those are the two. Those are the two guys that have hit the threes to start this third quarter.
And New Albany has increased the pressure here defensively. Want to see if Silver Creek can be patient.
Gross had the ball stripped away, and now's got it. Again, no shot clock in high school basketball. Nice pass, and Langford, though, the rebound.
Really savvy play there by Langford, and just getting rid of it so he doesn't get the travel call.
He's got a couple of threes, 14 points for Langford. To the basket, had it blocked and a foul. And free throws now for Romeo Langford, who missed both of his attempts back in the first half. He's an 84% free throw shooter.
We're a little bit more aggressive for starting this third quarter here.
Romeo Langford, if he scores 18 points today, and we figure that will happen, he'll move into the top 10 all-time on the Indiana high school scoring list. Next in his sights, James Blackman Jr. with 2,387 points. Langford came in with 2,370, and he now has 2,386, so a couple of points away from being top 10 all-time on the high school scoring list.
Yeah, what a feat, especially here in the state of Indiana. So many great players have come through the high school system here. He's definitely another one. One of the best, arguably the best to come through.
He tips the rebound out, and a pushing foul. And let's see, it may be on New Albany. Nope. It will be on Jacob Garrett, and Silver Creek. Timeout taken by the Dragons. So a good start for New Albany. You mentioned it. Their pressure to start. They've scored 8 in the quarter, outscored Silver Creek 8-2. But really making it hard for Silver Creek, Eddie, to run that half-court offense.
That's exactly right. In the first half, I thought Silver Creek did a nice job of moving the ball, able to find those shooters. But New Albany, I thought, kind of played back, just kept everybody in front. They were content with giving up those open shots. Instead of really taking the game to Silver Creek, I think they've done that here to start this half, increasing their pressure, utilizing it to their athleticism, really just playing it to their favor.
When you talk to both coaches, and they both played last night, both had to travel here to Indianapolis, they said, look, if you're fortunate enough to get to the regional in the Indiana High School State Tournament, you're going to play 2 games in one day. You're going to play a morning game and a night game. So even though you had a night in between, a night to sleep, this is not unlike what you might see in the state tournament in March.
No question about it. And then take it a step further, you just talk about AAU basketball. A lot of these kids are playing AAU basketball. They're playing 2 and 3 games in one day. So I think they definitely can manage that, especially when you're talking about both teams play the same schedule. So no one has the favor on the other. New Albany goes for the lob play there. Silver Creek's able to meet them at the rim.
9-point lead. New Albany is the Bulldogs' largest. Langford from NBA range.
Again, zero reaction. He knows what he's capable of. Comes off that screen there, ready to shoot the ball.
And now he's the 10th leading scorer in Indiana high school basketball history. And next in his sights, Alan Henderson. Henderson is number 9 with 2,419 points. I don't think he's going to be able to get to Damon Bailey. He's going to have to average about 40 points per game. And that's not just the way, that's not the way New Albany plays. I mean, last night, Eddie, he had 33 points on 15 shots.
Yeah, his efficiency is unquestioned, especially to put a game together like that. Really nice set here by New Albany. Comes out, gets his feet set, squares up, and knocks it down with great rhythm.
19 points for Romeo Langford. He's got 3 from three-point range. As we come back, Julian Hunter misses the free throw. Hunter, a 6'3" sophomore. And a 12-point New Albany lead as we approach the 5-minute mark of the third quarter.
The pressure of New Albany's defense is starting to get to Silver Creek. Let's see, can they respond here?
Jacoby inside and scores again. You and I were talking about Cooper Jacoby, 6'4" freshman. He could be 6'7", 6'8", because that young man hasn't grown up yet.
No question at all. You can see it all over his face. He's playing with great confidence there. As Romeo Langford knocks down another rhythm pull-up. Definitely getting into his groove and more aggressive offensively here.
Langford 8 of 14 from the field. He's got a game-high 21. East with the steal. And East the behind-the-back pass and the easy layup for Derek Stevenson.
This pressure is getting to be a bit much here for Silver Creek right now as they get a timeout to talk things over.
Dragons take a timeout with 4:31 to play. Silver Creek used a 9-0 run toward the end of the first half to lead 34-30. It's now a 22-4 New Albany run, and they've taken command here in the third.
Yep, and Silver Creek, they have that youth out there on the floor. Right now, it's working to their disadvantage in terms of being able to slow things down, move at their pace instead of New Albany's pace, which is much quicker.
Jim Shannon's team, New Albany, last night in the rivalry game. Jeffersonville came in 9-0. The Bulldogs shot 68% from the field and won their 6th straight against Jeffersonville. All they've done today, New Albany 20 of 32 from the field, 63%, 10 of 13 from three-point range.
Yeah, they're lighting it up right now, Chris. When you have guys like Romeo Langford and Sean, he's taking the bulk of those shots, and really they're not forcing those shots. They're taking their time, running their sets, and when they're in transition, you might as well count the basket because they're so just much better in terms of their athleticism, and it's just at a higher level right now.
This is the third of our 4 high school games. Earlier today, Lakewood Park won over Garrett, and Pike upset North Central. High school girls games today. We have our college basketball whip around. Purdue and Indiana, NCAA women's basketball, 13th ranked Purdue. The men host Nebraska at Mackey Arena. We'll check in on that. 21st ranked Seton Hall is at Butler at Hinkle Fieldhouse. We'll keep you in check with that game before we set you up for our final high school game of the day. That will be up in Westfield at the Pacers Athletic Center. And that's a nice play again by the freshman Jacoby. He has 8. We've got Addicts ranked number 1 against Broad Ripple. And then look at Langford with another long 3. We cap it off with the Pacers and the Bulls tonight. Pacers live pregame at 6:30, and I think there's no doubt at some point, Eddie, we're going to see number 1 here, Romeo Langford. Not to put a lot of pressure on him, we're going to see him as an NBA player.
Yeah, he definitely has great pro potential. As they all, the guys who do have the pro potential, they all clearly have some work to do, but he's one of the guys who you could definitely see playing at big-time basketball in NBA level.
There are 20 Indiana former high school players playing in the NBA. There are 11 of them from Central Indiana. I mean, it's been amazing to see the growth. We know how good Indiana high school basketball is, but now how many we are seeing in the NBA.
Yeah, it's astonishing because there's one thing to be a good high school player or a good college basketball player, but the NBA is an absolute jump from those levels, in particular the college level. And to see so many guys from Central Indiana go in and night out, I find myself finding a guy, oh, that guy's from Pike, or that guy's from North Central, that guy's from Brebeuf. It's just it's just astonishing to see.
15-point New Albany lead. They had a 3-point halftime lead. 3.5 minutes to play in the third quarter here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse on Basketball Day Indiana, presented by St. Vincent. It's the second Basketball Day Indiana. That's a foul on Julian Hunter and a nice drive by Ty Kessinger, and he'll shoot free throws.
That may have been Silver Creek's best offensive set here of this second half, being able to move the ball around, move at their pace, slow it down, wait till they find an opportunity to attack, versus New Albany forcing them into something they don't want to do.
Kessinger averaging a couple of points a game off the Dragons bench this year. He has 4 points today. Silver Creek next in action next Friday. They host Brownstown Central. New Albany will be at Madison. And again, as you look at New Albany, they may have played the toughest schedule in the state. 5 teams ranked in the top 10, 7 teams ranked top 25.
That's what you like to see, is the coach and the school as a whole going out there and playing the tough competition instead of going and playing a lesser competition.
Already from Central Indiana, they played Pipe and Carmel, and Darren Starks, who hit a couple of three-pointers in the first half, adds a tricky layup there. He's got 8. A 15-point New Albany Bulldogs lead. Bulldogs play man-to-man. That's Chris Johnson for the first time. A 5'9" junior on the floor wearing number 4 for the Bulldogs. That's a loose ball in the lane, picked up. And Cooper Jacoby finds Kessinger. Bile from 3-point range.
They have gotten away with the shuffle of the feet. Silver Creek doing a nice job on that offensive set, just taking their time, waiting until they get a good shot.
Silver Creek is 7 of 8 from the field. That's a drive by Langford. And waiting to see the officials. I believe they will count it. Basket's good for Romeo Langford, who has exploded here in the third quarter. He's got 15 of his game-high 26.
It happened really fast. Exploded is a great word, Chris, because that's exactly what Romeo Langford has done. On that particular play, Silver Creek has to do a better job of help side. This guy's one of the best players in the country. Got to have 5 white jerseys in the paint ready to collect that.
He has represented USA basketball all over the world, a member of the junior national team. And the only question in the late signing period this spring is, where will he play his college basketball?
Yeah, everyone is anxiously awaiting his commitment to university. That university will be a happy one.
And Bile, nice pass inside. Jacob Garrett has his first basket. 2 minutes to play, third quarter. Langford again for 3.
We call heat check, Chris. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Langford has 27. And a reach-in foul on Chris Johnson. Our officials today, Mike Pickens, Brett Deckard, and Mark Babbs. And St. Gross right back in. Quick breather. Langford today 10 of 17, 4 of 7 from behind the arc. Last night in the win against Jeffersonville, 11 of 15 from the field, 9 of 11 from the free throw line. He had 33 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and 5 blocks. Gross short. Rebound out to Starks. And the basketball with Silver Creek. Dragons last year 15-9. New Albany 25-4, and lost in the regional final to Castle, so a couple of steps shy of a state title. They won the 4A title 2 years ago, went 27-1. Beat McCutcheon here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Robert Finnessy has already signed from McCutcheon to go to Indiana. He's hoping that Romeo Langford will be his teammate. Gross inside, blocked by Langford. Silver Creek basketball.
You mentioned Robert Finnessy, another quality player out of McCutcheon, really good point guard. Romeo Langford goes to IU. They would be a nice combination there.
And looking ahead to March, your high school state finals. Fox Sports Indiana is the home of the state finals, and they'll play right here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Johnson heads to the bench. I've been impressed by Trey Kaufman and Cooper Jacoby, 40 and 44, two young freshmen for the Silver Creek team.
No question. I think their future is really bright with those two guys. In particular, Cooper Jacoby has done a really nice job. Love his confidence, the moxie, how he plays, his disposition out there. He just knows that he belongs on the floor right there with these upperclassmen varsity players.
Starks picks up the foul. That's his first. Dragons go back to the bench. Brandon Hoffman's done a good job of trying to rotate players. A little bit deeper than this New Albany team. And talking to Jim Shannon before the game, he said the great strength of his team 2 years ago when they won the state championship, they were a little deeper than they are now.
Yeah, the depth is key on all levels, and they have a group that's going to be good for some time.
That's Garrett with his second field goal. Nice pass from Kaufman. And an 11-point New Albany lead. Used a 22-4 run. And they'll hold for the final shot. Last 30 seconds here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse of the third quarter. Langford has 16 of his 27 in this 8-minute stretch.
Silver Creek definitely setting up like they will not allow Langford to get to the rim. See what he elects to do. Should pull up three. Give it to a teammate. Gonna get a ball screen here.
He's going to look to Starks. Starks fumbles it, picked up by the Dragons. It's Garrett. And they get the shot away. No foul. And we'll head to the quarter break with New Albany up by 11. Well, a year ago, we saw Romeo Langford go head-to-head with Chris Wilkes of North Central, who's now at UCLA. Today, the stage is all Romeo Langford. He's got 27, and the Bulldogs lead Silver Creek by 11 at the break. It's Basketball Day Indiana on Fox Sports Indiana.
My financial partner is IMCU, Indiana Members Credit Union. They offer the commercial services I need, like online banking and loans for company vehicles and real estate. Plus, they're locally owned like me. When I had a spike in business and needed working capital in a hurry, all it took was one call and IMCU came through. Their local decision-making kept it simple. I get personal service I can count on for my business at IMCU,
Indiana Members Credit Union.
Not all opinions are created equal.
Rodgers and Brady are the deodorants of the NFL. They take away all that smell.
Okay, cue the incense.
LeBron can play defense. He can pass. He can hit threes. He's the Swiss Army knife of this league. Harbaugh's a disruptor. It's what Uber did to taxis. Disruptors are really scary.
Perfectly opinionated.
I wouldn't say I'm wrong.
No chance.
The Herd with Colin Coward. Weekdays on FS1.
The most anticipated moment in racing.
It's one of the great scenes in all of sports.
Basketball Day Indiana is presented by St. Vincent. On this cold Saturday in January, it's the second annual Basketball Day Indiana on Fox Sports Indiana. And that's a basket again by a freshman, Trey Kaufman. He's come off the bench to score 9. Jacoby has scored 8. The freshmen for Silver Creek have 17. That's Langford missing. New Albany went 8 of 9 from the field in the third quarter. They outscored Silver Creek 23-15. It's a 9-point game as we start the fourth. With Eddie Gill, I'm Kristen Airy, our entire Fox Sports Indiana crew. A busy, busy day, and we're glad you're with us for 13 hours of basketball. Jumper by Gross does not get the roll. Rebounded. And a mid-range shot. That's Jacob Garrett with 6. It's a 7-point game.
That's a pretty good start to the fourth quarter for Silver Creek. I love coming out of the timeout in breaking action. Coach runs an ISO for the freshman. He comes out and gets a bucket immediately.
Silver Creek going man-to-man. We've seen him in a 1-2-2 zone. Don't want to gamble against Langford. Goes inside. He's hammered and shoots free throws.
Good hard foul by the freshman there. Nothing dirty at all. Just wasn't giving up a layup.
Langford nearly got that one to go. Again, he had 33 last night in the win at home. A sellout crowd. Romeo's used to playing in front of sellout crowds wherever he goes. And Langford, who missed a couple of free throws back in the first half, now has 28. Trying to get back here to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, where they won a title during his sophomore season 2 years ago, 27-1.
He's come out here and erupted in the second half. Much more aggressive to get his shot. And they are obviously going in.
You know, the one thing, about Indiana basketball, you think about all the great players. Oscar has that name. You just say Oscar, When you say Damon, Damon Bailey. And what about Romeo Langford? Larry Bird, Larry.
Absolutely, he's the next guy in line, and he's got the torch, and he's carried it well for 4 years.
I mean, so many great players, so many great names. And today, Romeo Langford has become number 10 all-time on the state scoring list. We'll talk about some of the names that are ahead of him as Langford goes inside and hammers it with a right hand.
Rise up, young man. And once again, he has zero reaction. It's almost comical to watch when he makes a play like that, and he just trots down like it's just another routine play for him.
A 31-point afternoon at Bankers Life Fieldhouse for Romeo Langford. But Silver Creek has stayed, and now Langford has the steal, but Gross gets it back and draws the foul. Not a whole lot of words here to describe this.
Yeah, big time. That's what you described that as, big time. And again, like I said, a casual trot. Silver Creek's not there in time, and he makes them pay.
Langford has 31. He's now over 2,400 points in his career. And again, he's 10th all time. Alan Henderson is next with 2,419 points. And you go on and on. Cooper Neese, who played at Cloverdale, graduated last year. Trayvon Blewett from Park Tudor, who plays at Xavier. The great Rick Mount. Brody Boyd, Deshaun Thomas, Marion Pierce, number 2. And Damon Bailey is number 1 from Bedford North Lawrence with 3,134 points.
And a few of those guys will come on down a couple ticks as Romeo keeps going throughout this season.
Hunter with a rebound, puts it up and in.
That's a grown man rebound right there. Nice job on the glass and the putback.
Julian Hunter has 6. He averages 7 points and 7 rebounds. He's one of the youngsters for this New Albany team, just a sophomore. And he knocks the ball out of bounds over the back of Jack Hawkins. New Albany led 22-16 after a quarter. Silver Creek scored 9 straight points in the second quarter, had a 4-point lead late before New Albany scored 7 straight. Gross with his third 3.
That's the one thing that's been missing in Silver Creek's game from the first half is that 3 ball that kind of kept them in it. See if they can get a couple more to fall for them to close this game.
Yeah, they were 6 of 7 from 3-point range in the first half, 2 of 3 in the second half. They just have not had a lot of open looks. East whips it inside, and Horrigan left it short. Rebound is tipped out. Silver Creek has it with Sammy Barnett. It's an 8-point game. Gross missed it. Ball is loose in the lane, picked up by Langford. He's fouled, and that's probably a good foul because New Albany was out in transition, and the foul is on Bennett Bile.
Foul number 22.
An 8-point advantage for New Albany.
Foul number 6 on the
as this game continues on with New Albany with this lead, Silver Creek may be forced to play a little bit faster than they would like to.
And again, it's a Silver Creek team that plays its games in the 50s, and New Albany's a team that plays its games in the 70s. Their scoring margin this year, 25 points per game. They score 76, give up just 51. That's an offensive foul on Langford.
Really nice job there by Silver Creek. That's what we're talking about, having guys in the paint ready to take that charge there. Last 2 possessions for New Albany have been ISO games, which hasn't fared very well. From the first time with Sean East. You got 5 white jerseys looking at you, and again, now you got ISO game with Romeo. Like to see them move the ball around and then let a guy attack after the ball's been swung a couple times.
Inside 4 minutes to play. And now Jacoby for 3.
The freshman back at it again. Great confidence. We got a ball game on our hands.
11 points for Jacoby off the bench. He averages 6, and it's a 5-point New Albany lead. New Albany led by as many as 15 in the 3rd quarter. 3.5 to play. This is the type of game, no matter what happens, could give Silver Creek a lot of confidence to get back here in March.
Yeah, just knowing that they're able to compete at a high level here with 2 of the best players here in the state, in Romeo Langford and Sean East.
Langford ducks inside, scores, and draws the foul. He's got 33.
Help defense is there. Chance left to split that double team, though. I guess we'll say that is easier said than done.
Langford had 33 last night. He had 34 a couple of weeks ago in the win against Pike. And that's where you talk about Jim Shannon. He and I talked before the game. You know, a lot has been made over the years. And we know how talented Central Indiana basketball is. And sometimes people forget about how good the basketball is down there in Southern Indiana. And he said, look, we've added Carmel and Pike and those teams to show that we can play the same type of basketball that you see throughout the state.
That's exactly right. That's what I mentioned earlier in terms of their willingness to go out and play that tough competition and really compete and in many cases be the favorites in those games.
Big 3-point play by Langford. He's got 34. That gets the lead to 8. Silver Creek, a 3. It's off and rebounded by Stevenson. And a jump ball. Possession arrow, though, belongs to New Albany.
Nice job there by Sammy Barnett coming in there and battling, forcing the jump ball.
Bennett Bile checks back in, the senior. He has 5 points this afternoon. Langford has 34. Sean East has 13 to lead New Albany. Zane Gross has 15. He leads Silver Creek. Man-to-man, Silver Creek. Again with 2:20 to play.
Silver Creek doesn't want to do it. They're going to have to extend this pressure, though.
Yeah, they've got to at least get out there to put that 5 count on the ball handler.
Exactly. I'm begging for a shot clock, by the way. Would love to see high school implement that.
And there are some states that do use the shot clock in high school basketball. Indiana does not. Inside 2 minutes to play. Now they'll trap Langford. He finds East. It's been a well-played game. Silver Creek shooting 58%, 9 of 12 from 3. New Albany 62%, 11 of 16 from three-point range. These teams have combined to go 20 of 28 from behind the arc. 90 seconds to play.
Yeah, Silver Creek's going to have to get into a run and jump game here, trap the ball.
And East is fouled by Gross.
Sean East is giving his best Curly impersonation.
And the bonus is in effect now. Team foul number 8. And so free throws for Sean East, a 92% free throw shooter. He had 17 points and 7 assists last night as New Albany pounded arch rival Jeffersonville 85-61. Timeout with 1:29 to play. New Albany leads at 69-61. A couple of state championships New Albany has won. They won back in 1973 and then won a 4A title back in 2016. Trying to get back to the state finals. They were denied a year ago, 25-4. They lost in the regional finals to Castle. Silver Creek 2 years ago was 22-5. They lost in the regional final against Evansville Mossy. And 3 years ago they won 23 games. I like what I see from Silver Creek. Brandon Hoffman's team 9-2 coming in on this basketball day, Indiana. And they've got a chance, I think, from what we've seen, to make a run to get back here to Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
I think so. I think they have a solid chance this year, but definitely moving forward. When you talk about those two young freshmen that they have in there, they have done a nice job here against elite talent, and they are not afraid of the moment. Gone out there, played with great confidence, taking advantage of their opportunity to score the ball as well.
And St. Gross will also be back next year, just a junior. Their leading scorer at 17 points per game. He's got 15 points today. Jacoby, the freshman, has 11. Trey Kaufman has come off the bench, a 6'5 freshman. He has 9. Romeo Langford, 34 today, has become the 10th all-time leading scorer in boys Indiana high school basketball history. He passed James Blackman Jr. today. And again, next, former IU star, NBA player Alan Henderson, who played his high school basketball career at Brebeuf. East has 14 points.
John East has had a really solid game. Great patience, taking advantage of his opportunity to score the ball as well. Savvy defensive player.
10-point advantage for New Albany, and again, without Romeo Langford. Earlier this year at Evansville Central, East had 27 points. That's short, rebounded by Stevenson. And now as we approach the final minute, it's a 10-point New Albany lead on their way to a 10-1 start. And free throws, bonus in effect again for Langford.
Again, Silver Creek forced to pressure New Albany here, and it's just, again, something they're not comfortable doing, something they're not accustomed to doing.
Langford had 11 first-half points. He has 24 here in the second half. He had 16 in that big third quarter as the Bulldogs outscored the Dragons 23-15.
Silver Creek's got to push it here in transition, try to get something early.
Jacoby against Langford. Inside the final minute, Gross. Nice pass inside. That's Kaufman with the catch. Those are the two freshmen working well together. Now with 48 and 8/10 to play. Bonus in effect now for Silver Creek, and Trey Kaufman will try to become the third Dragon in double figures.
I tell you, Kaufman and Jacoby both look like they can grow another 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah. And the official will have to give it back to Kaufman.
Darren Starks returning for the Bulldogs.
Chris, I've been really impressed with the way Silver Creek has come out and played today. From the tip, they've had great self-belief in what they can do out here. Played really confident. I think well-coached team. They have a really bright future.
10 points now for Kaufman off the bench. Heard from Silver Creek alum Steve Green with Brian Hammonds earlier in our studio show. As Kaufman hits both. He's got 11. Kessinger is back in. The lead is 9 for New Albany. They led by as many as 15 in the third quarter. In the final minute, another big game for Romeo Langford. He's got 35 with 7 rebounds and 2 assists, and he does it so efficiently. 12 of 20 from the field, 4 of 7 from three-point range. Again, if he has games like this, and he does it within the context of the offense, but if he does have games like this, and they can go to the state championship game, then he will be in range of threatening Damon Bailey.
Yeah, he definitely has the potential to make it interesting as the season wears on, because as we saw in that third quarter, he can explode and put up big numbers in bunches in a hurry. East
misses the free throw. Double bonus now in effect for New Albany. with 32 and 8/10 seconds to play. We'll take a break from the high school ranks. Coming up in our next hour, we'll move to our college whip around with Indiana and Purdue's women tipping off at 2 o'clock. Purdue and Nebraska from Mackey Arena at 2:15, and Butler and Seton Hall at 2:30. Also on the Plus channel, we've got Valparaiso of the Missouri Valley, and that's Jacoby with 2 more. A timeout taken by Silver Creek. Our final high school game of the day comes your way at about 4:45 as Crispus Attucks takes on Broad Ripple, and then Eddie, you'll be up in the Fox Loft with Jeremiah Johnson. Pacers live pregame at 6:30, and then the Pacers and the Bulls at 7 o'clock. This is a different Bulls team. They started 3-20 after the Pacers got the win here in December. They're 11-5 since. They scored 47 fourth-quarter points last night in a come-from-behind win in Dallas against the Mavericks.
That's blazing hot, Chris. You're absolutely right. The Chicago Bulls are a different team. They've been able to play with great confidence now. Barisic came back with a great spark to their rotation. They have great ball movement. They're defending at a high level. They're doing everything right now and trying to make a run to get back into that playoff picture. Not quite there yet. Dug themselves quite the hole early in the season, but you're right. They're a different team, and at this point, they can beat any team on any given night.
And for the Indiana Pacers, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. At one point, they were 19-14. They've lost 4 of these games without Victor Oladipo, the 10th leading scorer in the league, 25 points per game. Pacers definitely a different team without Vic.
Oh, there's no question about it. He's been the best player on the team throughout the season. Explosive scorer, does a lot of things for the team defensively and rebounds the ball well, assisted well. But again, the team, they're not playing with great confidence right now, looking to turn things around here tonight.
Romeo Langford and the New Albany Bulldogs will dribble out the clock and get an 8-point win here this afternoon on Basketball Day, Indiana. The Bulldogs now 10-1. Silver Creek falls to 9-3. But an outstanding basketball game, our third of 4 high school games today, as Langford and the Bulldogs get the win. He's now the 10th all-time leading scorer in Indiana, moving up that scoring list. A 35-point performance today with 7 rebounds and 2 assists. New Albany got a scare from Silver Creek, but in the end, it's a 73-65 New Albany win. This has been a production of Basketball Day Indiana on Fox Sports Indiana. For my partner Eddie Gill, I'm Kristen Airy. Coming up next, Basketball Day Indiana College Whip Around.
As long as there is fear, as long as there is curiosity, as long as there are undiscovered corners of the earth, and as long as there is willingness and desire, then you are capable of more.
Dreyer & Reinbold BMW, Indianapolis, Greenwood, and at DreyerReinboldBMW.com.
The coolest moment of my first Daytona 500 was walking out with my dad. My parents traveled around the country and did so many different things to try to get to this level, to be able to walk out, see your car on the grid for the Daytona 500. It's a very special moment for me, something I remember. I remember that feeling that day. It felt like a win, which is good. I had that feeling because it was about 30 laps later, I stuffed the head out on the wall. Just kind of had mixed emotions of that day.
Come on now, speak for yourself. All I'm saying is...
Throw the scripts out. Listen, Whitlock, I'm a polarized fire starter. Whitlock has created a fire. This corrupt system. Calm down. Stop. I am what I am.
Coward. Here's my problem with what has happened in the American media. We have deep-rooted issues.
Colin, who goes to a stadium looking for an opinion?
Here comes the Twitter avalanche. That's the way you do it.
Well, a big crowd showed up today at Bankers Life Fieldhouse to watch Romeo Langford put on a show, and he did not disappoint. Only had 11 points at halftime. He scored 24 in the second half to finish with 35, and his New Albany Bulldogs are 73-65 winners over Silver Creek. So what a day it has been so far here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse on Basketball Day Indiana. We've seen Pike, ranked number 3 in 4A, knock off the number 1 team, North Central, in girls basketball. And just moments ago, Romeo Langford and the New Albany Bulldogs beat Silver Creek by 8 here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And if you're just joining us, there's plenty more to come on Basketball Day Indiana. Coming up next, we'll do our college whip around. Purdue plays at Indiana, a great rivalry game in women's basketball. At Purdue, Nebraska comes to Mackey Arena. Seton Hall plays at Butler. It's the 3rd straight top 25 opponent for the Butler Bulldogs. Southern Illinois plays at Valparaiso. Then later on today, one more high school game to show you, and it's a good one. Broad Ripple against number 1 in 2A, Crispus Attucks. And then we will conclude the day with the Indiana Pacers coverage, which begins at 6:30 p.m. The Pacers take on the Chicago Bulls. So Romeo Langford finishes with 35 points. The New Albany Bulldogs are winners. For more, let's send you back down to Chris and Eddie.
The featured game on Basketball Day Indiana for a 2nd consecutive year, the New Albany Bulldogs, and the star of the show, Romeo Langford. Romeo, congratulations. Another 35-point effort for you. You see it each and every night, right?
Yes, sir.
Sellout crowds. This is no surprise for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk about your team and what you've been able to accomplish this year.
This year going into it, we really didn't have that much experience besides me and Sean and Julian. So really this year going into the season, me and Sean, our main focus point was being more vocal and helping out the younger guys.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with your disposition and just how you go about your business every game. I've watched you a little bit over your career, and every single game, even when you were younger, it seems like you're just calm, steady. Things going great for you. You're the same kind of atmosphere. Things going bad for you. Not very many things went bad for you, but when things are going bad out there, you're just steady. Talk a little bit about your approach to the game and throughout the game, how you kind of just moving out there.
It just started with when I was younger playing. My dad and my mom, they bit into me, just not showing any emotion out on the court. The ref makes a foul, just stay the same level every time you play. And so, like, the defenders, when they're playing holding me and stuff, they're trying to get under my skin. So if I show any emotion, that's showing them that they got me. And I don't want to show them they got me. And normally they don't get me, but really just going in when I was younger, my dad and my mom, they just built that into me.
Well, your parents did a phenomenal job. Keep that going, on to the next level. I think you're going to have great things in your future for sure.
Thank you.
Romeo, did you ever anticipate growing up in the state of Indiana, you'd be right now top 10 all-time in Indiana scoring? What does that mean for you? What do those individual honors mean to Romeo Langford?
It means a lot. Getting all the accolades that I do get, but my main focus is the main team on the level in the state. But it's all good to get the accolades of scoring and MVP at certain games and stuff like that. But it really doesn't matter if my team don't get the win.
Won a state championship as a sophomore on this floor at Bankers Life Fieldhouse for the 2nd time on Basketball Day Indiana. He's the star of the show. 35 points today for Romeo Langford as New Albany beats Silver Creek.
Well, we showed you earlier that Romeo Langford was 11th in the all-time scoring list. His 35 points this afternoon moves him up to 10th place behind Alan Henderson as he continues to climb the all-time scoring leader list. It's going to be quite a reach to reach Damon Bailey, but he'll certainly finish probably somewhere in the top 5 before the season is over. And just